Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is Kevin Iole, and I am with a guy that should have been the 2020 Fighter of the Year. If anybody knew what the hell they were doing, he would have been the 2020 Fighter of the Year. 5-0 with 3 Performance of the Night bonuses. On Saturday over at Apex, he will be fighting Derek Brunson. Of course, I'm talking about Big Mouth. Kevin Holland, how are you, pal?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, boss?
I am doing awesome. A lot of stuff going on in your division recently. A big fight with a guy ranked ahead of you, number 7 in the division. You're ranked number 10. The middleweight champion just lost a fight. Other fights going on. What's it like right now for you as you're a young guy trying to, bust your way into a title shot as you see all this activity in your division?
It's wonderful. You're seeing ways for people to get beat. You're seeing ways for people to prevail. You're seeing ways. You're just seeing all kind of ways. It's like the Waze app. You're seeing ways, baby. I'm loving it. It's a good time right now to be a middleweight.
I wrote my betting story the other day, and I said with Derek Brunson, this is kind of almost like a redo. His last fight was against a highly touted prospect. Everybody was talking about Edmund Shahbaz, and at that point is a future champion. Now he's coming up against another guy on the rise against yourself. What do you think that says about Brunson that the UFC keeps putting him in these type of fights? They're trying to find him are they trying to test you guys out with Derek Brunson?
Yeah, they test us with the gatekeeper. And there's several gatekeepers in the game. There's gatekeepers in boxing, there's gatekeepers in mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts is one of the big organizations that is known for having gatekeepers. And we need gatekeepers in every division. And there's nothing wrong with being a gatekeeper. I understand that Derek Brunson's coach uses that to motivate him, but I think that's what the UFC does with Derek Brunson. They use him as a gatekeeper. Everybody who's at the top ahead of him have beat him. Everybody who's had a belt before has beat Brunson to get the belt. So I think that they have Brunson there. It's kind of like a sign. You beat Brunson, you're off. You can go off and get a belt. You don't beat Brunson, well, we'll see what happens with you. So it's just one of those things, and there's nothing wrong with that, Brunson. Don't get emotional. Don't get mad. You're just one of those guys who will never have a belt. So it is what it is.
I mean, I thought he performed really well against Shahbaz in the last time.
Yeah.
What was your take on that fight? And did you think that was, were you surprised at how he fought that fight?
No, not necessarily. He went out there and fought a very smart fight. He took him down when he needed to take him down, struck when it was time to strike. He went out there and did everything that he was supposed to do. Ever since he's made the move with Henry Hoof and them over there at the new team that he's with in Sanford, it's looking really good. And did a great job, but I think if anything, I don't think it told you a lot about Brunson, because Brunson got caught with some good strikes in that fight that just ultimately didn't do the damage that Shahbazian thought it would have did. Right. I think more so told you a lot about Shahbaz. He just wasn't ready for what he thought he was ready for. And I think that's what that says. The difference between me and Shahbazian is you don't have me going out here talking about how I'm gonna be the youngest champ or I'm gonna be a champ. You just got me out here trying to bang heads up until I can't bang heads up no more. And to me, that's what fighting is all about, going out there and just scrapping. You see that?
Look, yeah.
I scared the room so bad the light went off. It happens.
And let there be light. So,
there it is.
Obviously you had a phenomenal year last year, going 5-0 with all those finishes that you had. But, I guess the question, there's always skeptics, there's always doubters. You fought Jacare, but he was 41 years old. So now I guess the thing is you're fighting the first guy that's legitimate, is still in his prime. I think that's fair to say that Derek is still in his prime in the top 10. So do you feel like you're going to make a statement in this fight, given, you're ranked below him?
No. Floyd Mayweather back in the day, he always said it. It's always going to be an excuse in this fight game. I beat Jacare. They say, he was 41 years old. He just went the distance with Jan Blachowicz, who just beat the 185 undefeated champ, who's no longer undefeated. So it's like, but MMA math doesn't work like that. Derek Brunson, his birthday just came across. He's a year older. They're going to say he wasn't the same man that he was a year ago. It's always going to be some type of excuse. I beat Brunson, they're going to say, oh, well, Israel had already put the damage on Brunson. You were supposed to beat him. It's always going to be something, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to be the highest prospect in the world for you guys to feel like I'm the best in the world. I don't need to do that. I just need to go out there and keep winning fights and get paid. That's all I'm here for.
It was interesting when Anderson Silva fought Uriah Hall here in Las Vegas. You fought on that card. and Israel Adesanya was there, and I was a little surprised. You ran over and you kind of woofed at him a little bit, and you're trying to build some heat between you and Israel. Do you feel like you're getting yourself close to where you're going to be on his radar? I mean, he was saying who when we were asking him about Kevin Holland. Do you feel like you're on his radar at this point?
I've been on that man's radar. Don't ever believe a guy who watches anime for a living. Don't ever believe that guy. It's like he's all about twisting and turning the story. I've been on that man's radar. He knew who I was the first day I joined the club. When I fought Thiago Santos, he knew who I was then. Before I went out there and I fought the Charles kid, he knew who I was because he was out there. He was speaking my name as I was walking by and telling his partner that I'm the guy he was talking about. So he knows who I am. So don't all that who. And never listen to that. These guys aren't owls. These guys pay attention to what's going on in their division, and they're supposed to, and it's like, unless they're me, I just sit at home and play video games and do my thing. But if it's a big name, I watch. And right. If you got guys in your weight class and he might be coming for you one day, you watch. So, I hear him, but I don't really believe him.
So I'm sure you watched his fight with Jan Blachowicz. A little controversy in how the scoring went. But what did you see? Were you impressed by Adesanya in that fight, going up 20 pounds to fight a bigger guy?
No, because I do it all the time. I came in the fight week at 194, 192 pounds. And it's like I'm fighting bigger guys all the time who cut big weight. So no, I'm not impressed whatsoever. I'm impressed with how he has over 100 pro wins. I mean, I think that is amazing. But 100 pro wins. But impressed with what he did against Jan Blachowicz? No, the scorecards weren't even close. If they had the scorecards close, it's because it was bad judging. He lost every round. He got outstruck. He got out-grappled. He got out-fought. And so it's like I hear everybody constantly talking about Israel Adesanya, but let's be real here. If Kevin just came off a loss, they wouldn't be spreading Kevin's name. You know what I mean? And we got the best name in the world with Kevin.
No doubt. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but the guy, I understand he's the 85 champ, but the 85 champ is coming off of a loss, and when you're a champ and you lose, you also lose your belt, and if this was boxing, that would have been the case. So in my eyes, the guy has to go back and avenge himself at 85 because he proved to himself that he can't fight people at his natural weight class, which is 205. So yeah, it is what it is. The man needs to come back to 85 and he needs to become the quote unquote king again.
You're one of the guys that physically match up well with him. When you look in the division, he's got that reach on guys like Whitaker and Costa and whatnot. You're 6'3", he's 6'4". I think his reach is a little longer than yours, 84, maybe to 81. You're 81, right?
I'm 80. His is like 80 or 79. His is not 84.
So you're
John Jones has that long reach, you know. Izzy doesn't have the longest arms in the division. I do. Izzy's taller than me, and it's like they have him at 6'4" and they have me at 6'3", but I really believe I'm 6'2.5". So I think it'd be a fun fight. I think it'd be a fun fight, but like he said, I have to get there. He's at the top because he put in the work to be at the top, but he lost his last fight. And we're only as good as our last fight. His last fight is an L. My last fight was in the gym and I got beat up. So he asked me, neither one of us are that great.
One of the things I want to ask you about is fighting as often as you do. I know you've already talked about, hey, you would step up. Now, Kelvin Gastelum got the fight, but you would have stepped up and fought Robert Whitaker, getting through this fight.
I would have.
Yeah. And so, some people, like, I remember a couple of years ago when Donald Cerrone did that, and then he got to Nate Diaz and he was just totally gassed, and just said basically had worn himself out by fighting that often. Did you notice any of that toward the tail end of last year as you're fighting that often? Like, did you have to take care of your body maybe a little differently just to adjust for how often you were in the cage?
Yeah, you definitely, when your body goes through that much wear and tear, you definitely have to take care of it better. But I guess that's one thing that it taught me. It taught me how to take care of my body a little bit better. But ultimately, I was feeling better. I was feeling like better as far as an overall martial artist and overall, human goes. I was feeling like I was finally putting in some work. I felt active. I felt like I was really earning the money that I was making, and it felt good, And like, I like being active. I like fighting as much as possible. And it's like, I come from a Kung Fu background, traditional martial arts, and, it's all about defending yourself. So if you bring somebody to attack me every day, I'm going to defend myself every day. So yeah, I love to fight, and fighting is the greatest thing in the world for me. So it's like, if you can get me in there as much as possible, please do.
And you're making a little extra cash on the way here with all these performance of the night bonuses. Did you buy anything special for yourself at the end of the year after 5-0 with 3 performance of the nights?
No, I just put a lot of money into the cars. My grandma has a house right around the corner from me. I have a house, it's like we're all living pretty good. So it's like the money did great things for me and the whole family. And I look forward to going out there and getting some more. It's like they say money can't buy you happiness, but man, I love crying in my new truck, so it is.
Well, let's finish up with this. How do you map out 2021? Assuming you beat Brunson, that's going to move you up a couple slots in the division. When do you come back? And are you always only going to look for guys ahead of you if you beat Derek, or do you say, hey, you know what? If there's an opportunity for me to fight, even if it's someone below me, I want to fight.
Look, I'm going to welterweight and fighting Usman. If they don't let me fight Usman at welterweight, I'm going to welterweight, and you can make me top 50 and I'm fighting everybody. I'm fighting everybody and anybody. It's not a matter of the rankings. It's not a matter of where you are in life, what you got, none of that. It's just a matter of who wants to fight and when do you want me to fight. I will be there.
Well, now this sounds like one of my other favorite fighters. So you're on the list, right? So because I love what you do and I love your charisma that you have. One of my other, Dana always makes fun of me because I ask about him all the time whenever I interview Dana, which is Khamzat Chimaev, who's fought at 170 and 185. He's dealing with a little COVID issue right now. You saying that we could see you and he fight each other at some point this year?
He can't dodge me. He put his hands on me and he called me to help. He can't dodge me. Eventually, I will catch that boy. And when I catch him, he won't be your favorite fighter no more. He'll be the guy that you realize was never really a fighter.
Woo. So if you fight him, he knocked out Gerald Meerschaert at 185. He's fighting at he was going to fight Leon Edwards at 170. Where do you think the fight should take place? It's a big cut for you to make it to 170. Where do you go?
Whatever he wakes up at, whatever he wants to cut to, doesn't matter. When I catch him, and he can name it. He can name it. The same way Brunson named this. Brunson said, I want to fight this date. I want you to be the B corner. I want to come out second. I want you to come out first. I want this. I want that. And that's the only way I'm going to fight you. Cool. We're fighting.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Tell me what you want to fight and we will fight. You want me to cut off half my leg? I'll cut it off. As long as I can sew it back on, let's fight.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up here and just tell me how this fight goes on Saturday with Derek Brunson. Break it down. How do you win the fight?
Man, you know what? I can't say that I win. I can't say that I lose. But one thing I can guarantee you is that we go out there and we're shooting. He's shooting for a takedown, and I'm shooting my right hand like it's a pistol with bullets in it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he shoots, I shoot. Somebody's got to hit and somebody's got to miss. And usually when you hit, blood splatters everywhere. So I'm hoping I'm the one that hits.
Well, that is Kevin Holland, who, if Yahoo Sports had any brains in their head, somebody would have picked him as Fighter of the Year for 2020 after a 5-0 year. Kind of one of my mistakes, I think. But Kevin, great talking to you. Good luck. I'll see you on Saturday. All the best to you, my man.
Hey, it was great talking to you as well, Kevin.
See you, bro.